Be cool. Everybody be cool.
I can't handle it.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out. It's going to make me sign in. With, what I think is
I did not tweet it because I was waiting for failure to happen.
Well, you did good. I don't know if we're already live now or not. There we go. And I was even able to... Hey, look at that. Now it's almost a thing. And then finally, the music is working. Just everything just couldn't be going smoother. Just exactly the way I had intended. Sick as a dog.
You know, guys, I don't want to be a jerk flashing my success around, so I'm not going to do that, all right? I just want you to know that.
But for some reason, there's some crazy ducking thing. I can't hear anybody.
Oh, wait. What? Oh, have you not been able to hear us the whole time?
No, there's something's ducking. Something's getting crazy ducked.
Here, keep talking, Andrew.
I'm talking out my mouth, and I don't want to really, like, show up and just be like a big, hey, look at me, everybody, my #1 book with my success. Because I think that's wrong. That's gross. Like, oh, look what I bought. Look what I did like that. I'm not going to do that. Let me just go put this back, though. So.
Is the ducking still happening?
No. I think we're good now. I think it might have been...
The music? What happens? See if you
Oh,
can
wait.
talk
Now
over it.
it is ducking.
So when I play, can you not hear the music?
No.
You can't hear this music?
No.
Oh.
I can.
Here, I'm going to change devices, see what happens here.
Yeah, if you're playing music and that's when you're ducking, then that's what's happening.
Wow. Hold on. I'll figure out where it should go. So you still have the ducking, but now the ducking is stopped.
Now the ducking is stopped. Yeah.
Huh. Bryce might know something about that. Check the pan on channel 4. Yeah, no, pan is even on everything. I tried changing device output. What if we did instead of mobile pre? Oh, you know, I wonder if it has to do with we busted out the Vive, and I wonder if like the default sound device. So you still don't hear that, right?
I do not hear any music. No.
All right, well, but you hear Andrew and you hear me, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, well then screw it. We'll just
Yeah.
What say we do the show? Oh, it's the ghost of the show. We should be more worried about the return of the creature. You mean the ghost? Okay, Bryce, I'm going to assume you'd rather me just press record and get everything, and then you can cut out the parts that are things. So, hey, there we go. Let me get some levels real quick. Justin, can you say hello?
Yo, what's up? What's going on? Everybody, sing a song.
Keep going, keep going. I like
Yo,
this
what's
too.
up? Hey, what's going on? Check. 1, 2, 3. Talking to you. How are you doing? What's going on?
All right, that works for me. Test 1, 2. I'm going to bring mine up just a touch more, so I'm about the same volume as Justin. Andrew Main, can I get levels?
I'm Andrew Main, and I'm writing as I talk, and I'm not really doing both very well either. I'm no Isaac Asimov. I've had to realize this early on in my life. I can't multitask worth anything.
All right, I think we're good. I'll try to be good about riding that cough button. But if you gentlemen are ready, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Then let's take it away in 3, 2.
Hold on, wait, let me tweet this out. Tweet it out.
Oh!
Tweeting it out. Batman. Oh, Christopher Nolan, I'm excited to be in Dunkirk. Finally, people see my face. No, you actually...
you wear a mask.
A pilot, yeah. Well, be able to hear me. No, it's going to be airplane noises and stuff. I really hate the way you act, Tom Hardy. I'm just going to tell you this. All right, cool. Ready.
All right.
I love the way Tom Hardy acts. I make that very, very clear. I think he's amazing. If you're in my movies, you'd hear him.
Okay, here we go. Ready? 3, 2.
Welcome to the Weird Things Podcast. I'm Andrew Main. I'm very excited. I'm joined by Brian Brushwood, who is in peak performance level right now.
Yep, pretty much dialed in. There's a lot of rumors. People are saying that I came back from Scoop Fest sick as a dog. And let's just lay to rest right now this nonsense slander that I still have a fever and that I'm currently on cold meds. It's insane.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that scurrilous media making things up about you and your antibodies.
Right.
So, and a little bit of related sad news was, Dragon Con killed Jerry Pournelle.
What?
Jerry Pournelle, great sci-fi writer, Lucifer's Hammer, wrote with Larry Niven, Ringworld, all these other sorts of stuff.
Moat God's Eye, right?
Yeah, Moat and God's Eye, probably one of the best, one of the probably a great sci-fi story. Jerry Pournelle was also head of SIFA, Science Fiction Writers Association. He was a tireless advocate for science fiction writers. SIFA had a thing called grief or something. Like there's a committee, like if you're an author and you felt like you're getting unfairly treated by your publishers, you could take them before the committee, and it carried weight because SIFA represented sci-fi writers and stuff. And so Jerry, controversial in many ways. He was he described his politics as further to the right than Genghis Khan. But he was very beloved. George R. Martin wrote a very nice tribute to him, and he was one of these people that his political beliefs, whatever, when he passed away, weren't the issue because he did so much to fight for people that I was very happy to see that he was very fondly remembered. But he went to Dragon Con, came back with the cold. And
that's the one that did
got him.
Man. This is actually the first time hearing about it. I appeared on Twit a few times with Jerry Pournelle, and we argued about the merits of just-in-time management. And he thought that it was insane that people, don't have stockpiles of everything so they can remain independent from whatever grid when the power goes out or when infrastructure breaks down. And I took the counter-argument side of saying, you know what else uses just-in-time management? My liver, all my organs. They all just assume the red blood cells will keep showing up. That was a really great moment. I'm sad to hear that he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of talking to him a couple times, and it was just this guy's one of the the kind of the deans, one of the great masters of sci-fi. It's the stuff he did, writing with Larry, like you mentioned before, his collaborations with Larry Niven, his own stuff, what he's done before. When you think about just these great titans, this is a guy who was a contemporary with Robert Heinlein. Heinlein gave him a big help, and he I just sad to see him pass. But man, cons kill.
Dude, there is no joke to that, man. Luckily, I've been fortunate to kind of escape some of the major con cred, which, of course, I still have, I think, 2 more before the end of the year, so not out of the woods yet. But once you get it, your body just shuts down, man. It is just such a mutated, gross little virus.
It's interesting, too, because nowadays when I go out on the road, it's almost only for cons. And I don't know if cons, they're just more disease vectors or whatever. But, when I was on tour, it was I just felt made of iron. I could handle anything. And now it's even saying yes to a convention, I'm like, yeah. So about that.
A con, you're exposed to so many more people. You think how many times you shake hands and how many times they shook hands, and how poor hygiene is. Godspeed with your recovery, Brian.
No, you know what? All that matters to me is that we're able to bring the weird, sir.
Yeah.
Although hopefully I'm not too weird.
So I got a couple stories. I'm going to go. Well, first, the breaking news is tomorrow. Well, tomorrow here on the West Coast, it'll be the day after tomorrow. Thursday night, tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I forget, let me pull this up to figure out what time this is. What time is it going to be? A gentleman by the name of Mr. Elon Musk is
Musk?
going to
Of the Moscow Musks?
perhaps. It was funny. There was I read some article. It was one of these super critical kind of he's a con artist. This the Canadian American businessman. I'm like, well, you did your research.
They thought he was from Canada?
Yeah, it's been a year there, so I guess it's this is a finely researched, debunking of Elon Musk. But anyhow, so last year around this time, we were very, very excited because Elon Musk was going to be speaking before the International Astronomical Congress. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He did that was in Mexico. He went there. I think that's where it was. He went to go speak there and unveil the plans for the next generation rocket that they want to build, which has been called various names. There's BFR, which stands for Big Rocket.
Friendly Rocket. The Big Friendly Rocket.
Big Friendly Rocket.
Because
it's
Fraggle
really
Rocket.
Big, or Big Falcon Rocket.
That works.
Big Falcon Rocket. And
maybe it's named after the Falkland Islands.
And then called it's been called the ITS, the Interplanetary Transport System, which I think 2 out of 3 times I always bungle that trying to pronounce it, which I'm sure I'm not the only one. Yeah. Now Elon Musk is referring it to the BFR Planetary Colonizer.
Okay.
So, that just sounds awesome and also a little bit violent.
Yeah.
The big effing rocket planetary. No, we're coming to colonize this planet.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
We're gonna board the USS. Try and stop us.
Yeah. So when he unveiled the plans last year, he showed those plans. The idea was to build this rocket that was a 2-stage rocket, a booster stage, and a spaceship that sat on top of it. That was going to be methane powered. The reason for methane was that if you went to Mars and you wanted to refuel on Mars, you have carbon, you have oxygen, you have water, and with solar power, using the Sabatier process, you can make methane, and then you can fuel your rocket back up and send it back to Earth, creating a loop, creating this back and forth sort of cycle of sending rockets to and forth. So the methane seems to be the way. That's the way Blue Origin is working with their rockets. They see that as the next big thing is let's go methane, because methane is a lot easier to deal with in many ways and has enough power. That was part of it. And then the idea of how the scale of it was amazing. This was going to have something like a diameter of 42 feet across or something like this. It was just going to be insane. Huge, big rocket. The spaceship portion of it could hold 100 people, send 100 people to Mars and do it in 60 days. Because what was radical about the rocket design was people were like, it's going to take you 6 to 8 months to get to Mars. He's like, I'm going to do it in 60 days. How are you going to do that, Musk? And he's like, we're going to go faster.
Huh.
Oh, wow. Let me run the math on that. Does going faster get you there? Apparently it does. And how was he going to get there faster? He wasn't going to carry the fuel to slow down. This design of the rocket that we saw was going to use aerobraking. It was going to reach Mars. It was going to head towards Mars at, 50,000 miles an hour, whatever the velocity it's going, curve, go right into the atmosphere and use that to slow it down and then land. That was what we saw last year. The problem was he said, hey, we think development cost of this thing is going to be $10 billion. For some countries and nations and the United States, some other people, maybe he was hoping for them to step forward and say, yes, how can we be part of this? And, Elon Musk is no stranger to institutional inertia, et cetera, what have you. Okay. And he wants to make this thing happen. Of course, there are people like, how's he going to make this happen? And at the time, my joke was, public mystified how man worth $15 billion will afford $10 billion rocket. Because worst case scenario, Elon could pay for it. Now he's worth $20 billion. So, you could. So the I don't think he wants to spend all of his money because that means selling Tesla and whatever, et cetera. So I think he wants to have a business model to do this. Worst case scenario, he can do that. So that was what we saw last year. But there was hey, how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to do this? Now Elon has tweeted out, because he is doing a follow-up a year later, talk tomorrow. And he's going to talk about the updated plans of this. And he's very much hinted that the new version is going to be a downscaled version of the ITS, which we talked a lot about here, about how that was liable to be happening. And now that's the case. So that's it with that. And also a better business model, because his tweet was previous ideas for paying for it, because now he's going to explain the business model for it, were $10 billion dev cost, including Kickstarter and collecting underpants, which turned out to be less lucrative than expected. Um, what's funny is you can see a generational divide where people are like, "What's with the under? What's the idea about the whole underpants thing?" And somebody wrote like in Reddit, I think he was referring to a rag picker, which used to be a profession that would go from door to door begging.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Please tell me somebody linked that poor soul.
That's I mean that is a more than a decade old reference at this point, though.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's old. It's understandable. It's an understandable that like you don't get our our Benny Goodman jokes. you know. So anyhow, the plan is tomorrow he's going to reveal us. He says he's going to show footage of the Raptor engine, which is the new engine they're going to be using. Apparently that working. He's going to give us an updates on this. That what he'd said publicly before is once Falcon 9 they reach their Block 5, that version of it, which will be next year, they're going to shift production to this rocket. And I think what he's going to now is to show with the smaller scale version of it, what are the practical applications of it, probably with low Earth orbit, etc. One of the things I talked about was like if you can show the commercial uses for this for launching space stations and stuff into low Earth orbit, big, huge stations all at once, that's amazing. And in the current environment, both the United States political administrations and the Russians and whatnot have talked, and the Chinese have talked a lot about, you know what, let's go to the moon. Now, we've made the case that if you can solve both problems at once. And let's not say, oh, it has to be one or the other. But if you're building a rocket that could go to the moon and go to Mars, that sounds like a better plan.
Yeah.
Rather than, it's only a moon rocket. It's only a Mars rocket. But if you're like, hey, no, it can go anywhere. Or could put stuff in orbit around Venus.
Thank you. That was very kind. Very kind. Throw me a bone.
I want that to happen, Brian. I want that to happen. Let me make it very clear, okay? So
wait, hold on. By the way, Gnomes was the 17th episode of the second season of South Park, coming out December 16th, 1998.
Holy cow!
Almost 9 years ago, the Underpants Gnomes reference first broke into the main.
No. 19, not 9.
19 years ago. Sorry, 19 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it's understandable to not. That's I always use this. Okay, let's do the math. That would be in 1998, not getting a 1977 reference or something.
Yeah. Yeah, jeez.
Or 1978 reference, or 1979 reference. I can do math, guys. I can. A 1979 reference. Oh, in that episode of Joni Loves Chachi. So guys, here's going to throw this out to you. So what we're likely to see tomorrow is Elon Musk saying, here is the BFR rocket. This is what it is. We're going to build it. We're starting construction of this now. This is a thing. It's financing. And there's another thing we can get into. There's Steve Jurvetson, who's a guy who has been a SpaceX backer for early on, has created a separate investment fund to fund SpaceX projects, which I think that may be a separate, yes, we're going to raise. I think that they've got the capital in place, how they're going to do this, the plan to move forward on it. I think we're seeing a thing, and it's going to be like, this is a go. This is a go. What does that mean for you?
So that is the big, that's, that this is not a PowerPoint presentation anymore. Here it is. All the pieces are here. The tech's here. The money's here. This is a reality that now has a very realistic ticking clock.
So how soon between this announcement? I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Yeah. All I want to do is ask questions. Will we see something? Yeah.
I'll give you, based upon his other timelines, estimates.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think we'll see something on a launch pad in 5 years.
Go on.
I think we'll see the full stack on the launch pad in 5 years, and I'm pounding my stake in the sand.
That old chestnuts.
To our audio listeners, I'm making a face right now, my own twisted metaphor.
Pounding my stake.
I am drawing my circle. I'm drawing my line.
I'm drawing my circle around my stake in the sand.
While also calling my shot and pointing to the back of the arena.
Here it is. It is 19. It's God. Here. I swear this is Kool-Aid, guys. It's not gin and juice. In 2017, that's this year, we are going to see within 10 years, and I would say 8 years, and again, things can happen, but I think within 8 years, we are going to see by 2025, by Marvel Phase 4, we are going to see on the launch pad, a rocket capable of putting people on Mars. Now, that does not mean that I think that we will start the first Mars colonization mission, because having that rocket that can go to Mars and putting people on board isn't the same as saying, and we've got the Martian expedition financed, and we've got the everything else we need, but the rocket that could take us there will be there. It's like self-driving cars. Like, yeah, we'll probably 2 to 3 years, we'll have really awesome self-driving cars. Will every state be ready to go like, yeah, run with them, have them, But I think within 8 years' time, we're going to see something on the launch pad capable of going to Mars and bringing people there, or the moon.
Wow, that'll be amazing. That's incredible.
So yeah, I mean, I guess then at that point, I'm interested to talk about like what are the Elon Musk updates next year and the year after that? Like, are we just periodically kind of getting closer or to this achievement, or is there yet another big picture thing? Because this has always been the big picture idea for SpaceX, is like, sure, getting these rockets up and reusability, like these are cool things, and yes, they are groundbreaking, but they are in service of this larger vision. Are we just kind of getting close to that, or is there any other, I mean, moonshot being the metaphorical term, because we're going to look to go further than the moon, but are there any other Mars shots you think that we'll see in subsequent announcements?
I mean, I would imagine on the Mars side of things, you send some rovers, you see how fast it can get there. You send something to start grabbing CO2 out of the atmosphere and processing it so that you have human-needed supplies waiting for you when you get there. Like, it seems like once everything's set up, that would be the early stages, right?
Yeah, that's one of the plans they talked about, was the idea of like, once you have the rocket, send it to Mars automated, and to make sure that it can go there and and see if you can't automate some of the fuel production and other issues and stuff. So that I think is one of the things they talked about. And again, these things are in the last year since Elon Musk announced the project. Last year they had, hey, we like this design, this is what we want to do, we think we solved these problems. They put it out there, and then the engineers like, all right. In the intervening months, they're like, oh, we think this through. We're looking at, now that we're moving forward and putting more time into this, we're looking at the economics of it, et cetera. And that was, one of the problems is, when they announced the first version of it, the big version is, where do you build it? You've got to build a factory. It means you've got to build a factory. You've got to hire thousands of people, which you've got to relocate thousands of people. You've got to do the hiring process. You've got to scale these things up. And these are huge, huge things. And be like, well, you can go, like, Blue Origin's doing theirs in Alabama, near places where there have been existing rocket facilities, and people have that experience. But that's still, building the factory and building and scaling up is still several years to do that alone. So, and now we have this sort of answer of, and I think it might be, hey, we might be able to do this sooner than later. I think the thing that Musk was expecting, or hoping, not necessarily expecting, but hoping for, was more enthusiasm from other people in the space sector and in industry and government to say, oh, cool, now we have a means to do it. But there was this, wow, well, that's cool, crickets kind of thing. And then you have the, well, how are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to solve this problem? And it's like, FedEx is like, hey, we can give you a package anytime, anywhere in the world. Well, what am I supposed to put in there? Why would I want to do that?
Hey, speaking of Musk, I guess we haven't, unless I missed it. Did you guys talk about the rig announcement? Did he make an announcement for a Tesla rig?
They're gonna unveil that next month, the Tesla Semi, which Brian's waiting for. Brian's like, none of this S3 or X BS. I'm from Texas.
I'll tell you what, man. We were talking about how much fun it would be to put together a modern Rogue van. I could be talked into going modern Rogue big rig.
Oh my God, modern Rogue van! This
guy. We were talking about kitting it out with like a wizard fighting a dragon on the side and filling it with surveillance equipment and stuff.
I remember I was walking by a 7-Eleven and I saw this beat up old Camaro, and written across the windshield, I do not kid you. I do not kid you. Night Raper.
K or N? K or N?
Just N.
Yeah, see, I'd like to think it's a really enthusiastic new fan of Night Attack from China who
I'd prefer not.
Yeah.
I'd prefer that person was not connected to us at all.
who just used Google Translate, and that's what it came out as. Oh,
And was it like they were wanting to do like Night Reaper or whatever, but it'd be Night Raper. And I'm like 15 and I'm just staring at this like, if I were a cop,
Yeah.
I know profiling is bad, but
I would like if like right below it, it's like, yeah, I meant it, or like not a typo. I'm really that guy.
There's a subreddit that's like a bad taste but good executions. Awful taste, I'll have to find it, but one of them was a guy who'd been pulled over because he had decals of what looked like blood ripping up from the wheels, like he had run into a person or roadkill or a deer or something, and there was blood splatter all up on the side, and it just turns out it was just poor taste, good execution.
Story of my life. Just real quick, I'll probably tomorrow, like Thursday night, I'll probably hop on and do a Periscope live stream after the Elon Musk announcement. I've been having so much fun at Periscope doing that, so
That's great.
Cool.
do that. But meanwhile, I have fun doing this show. You guys have fun doing this show?
Yeah.
I do. I have a blast. I'll tell you what, people can have fun supporting this show if they go to patreon.com/weirdthings.
That's not it at all. That's the blood. Those are decals on the back of that car right there.
Oh my God.
No wonder you got pulled over, but I'm going to go to patreon.com/weirdthings.
Weirdthings. If you go on over there to patreon.com/weirdthings, you can help support this show. You can kick a little money in. Make sure that every single week we give you the best blend of science, skepticism, monsters, Bigfoot, and general horsing around right here on the Weird Things podcast.
Oh, yes.
I got a story for you, and I'm kind of like, I want to say like I'm past it, but then like I kind of never get surprised by this. And it's like, the story's got everything, guys. It's got all the things we sort of like, almost, a good part of things we like in Weird Things stories, plus a real cool twist. But it's one of those, like, you ever, like, people show you like fanfic and they try to combine too much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, Luke Skywalker goes to Hogwarts, like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Sure.
He's a Jedi and he's a wizard. This is almost this, right? And we've talked about these kinds of stories at first because really they were kind of funny, and then we realized they were sort of dark, and we realized this is okay. We're kind of making fun of a culture that isn't presented as well as perhaps it could be in a sense. In what is an article that I think is the most amazing mashup of both Goblin Story, Harry Potter, and Labyrinth.
Okay.
I bring to you from the Bulliayu24.com. I don't know what this is. Feared in Sagama, I don't know what that is, or maybe wizard, turns neighbor's son into goblin.
Transformed him into a goblin.
Yes.
And they mean the literal use of the word goblin, right?
Well, as we've determined in our cultural studies that perhaps in some cultures that goblin may mean spirit or ghost or possession
or weirdo.
Yeah, so we've come to determine that, and we also think that some of these like visitations may be actual like drug-induced rape, which it was all funny until people were getting violated. But yeah, anyhow, let me read this story to you because, man, they did not bury the lead here. First line, A village in Philabusi has distinguished itself as an extraordinary haven for wizards and witches.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You know, a little
Sounds
destination.
nice.
That's a nice little thing that you can put in the Yelp review.
Mm-hmm. Next line. This came to light after a family claimed their son, who went missing in February this year, was kept at a neighbor's granary as a goblin.
Kept as a goblin. So maybe goblin is a catch-all term of maybe the mentally ill, or because my guess is they don't have a lot of empathetic treatment for people with special needs.
Well, Brian, next line. Amin Gumbai, a 33-year-old mentally challenged man from Magako Koko village in Gangazezi, Philabusi, disappeared without a trace on February 23rd.
Wow.
Yeah. So how does that feel, Brian?
It feels like I have a handle on the situation. Now I get it.
Traditional leaders in the area have refused to assist their family, saying they feared they would also get bewitched. Not the TV show. His mother, Gogo, Josephine Gumbai, said word was going around their village that a certain allegedly powerful traditional healer cast a spell on her son and turned him into a goblin. They said Inyanga cannot be named for ethical and legal reasons. I don't know what that means. But word is that my son is being kept in the granary by the biggest Inyanga in our village, who also doubles as a powerful church leader here. There's nothing much that we can do, but I want my son back. So apparently, child's been kidnapped, being kept by witchcraft dude who also is a church leader. And by the way, if you check out my upcoming book, Looking Glass, I talk about some of the strange crossover between Christian evangelicism and African witchcraft. And it's a little bit of a theme in there. So, so apparently, been kidnapped, gone there, can't do anything about it because there's a lot of wizards and witches there, and everybody's afraid of that. The police spokesman, Inspector Philisani Nevada, confirmed having received the report. I can confirm that we received a missing persons report on Amin Gumbi, who has been in the challenge, who went missing in February. Anyone who may know his whereabouts is advised to contact their nearest police station.
Man, yeah, once you sort of pierce through, absent the word goblin, this becomes a very sad tale. No less weird, but just a little sad.
Yeah, I mean, specifically when that one little detail of like kept in the granary, right? It's like, oh no, this is just a kidnapping.
This is a straight up kidnapping.
Yeah. A B Metro news crew visited the village head at his homestead, and he maintained that he had to distance himself from the matter. This is very difficult because the man involved is a feared man, and he has led to the downfall of many spiritual leaders who have tried to fight him. The community is divided on what should be done. Some suggested we should call Sakamotanda's witch hunters. However, other people do not want them. The problem is that we can call these witch hunters just for one case, but they will end up exposing more people who are keeping their things and practicing witchcraft without interfering with other villagers, and it will not be fair. It is a fact. People keep all sorts of things and goblins. Who am I to start pointing fingers and that so and so does it? It's none of my business, said the village head.
Well, that's what these ghost hunters are like the faith militant in Game of Thrones. Like as soon as they get out there, they're not going to be able to be stopped.
Apparently, because everybody's got something to hide. I can't even process this.
Yeah.
Snakes. The answer is snakes.
Yeah. So, this is the world.
Yeah. True.
This is the world.
That's a fact, Andrew. We certainly put a button on that.
Yeah. By the way, and I'm tired of all these people who won't acknowledge it. They're still denying these. This is the world deniers.
Yeah. So, question on I was absent an episode. Did we talk about the Nazi phone book?
Remember talking about the Nazi phone book? No.
You know what? Just now, I went in my mental file system and I looked under N, and there are so many entries under the word Nazi that I can't remember if there was a Nazi phone book in there.
So a Nazi-era telephone directory creating details of some of the key figures from the Third Reich is going up for sale in the UK, our auction. The leather cloth-bound directory was covered from the Reich Chancellery in Berlin at the end of World War II by Captain John Hodge, an officer in the British Grenadier Guards. The directory, which is collated A to Z, contains over 200 handwritten names, private telephone numbers, in some cases the addresses of top Nazi officials, including Heinrich Himmler, Joseph Goebbels, Rudolf Hess, Hermann Göring, Joachim von Ribbentrop, Reinhard Heydrich, Albert Speer, and Albert Bormann. There's one notable admission from the directory, though. Sorry, folks, no Adolf Hitler.
Can't get those Hitler deets.
That's because he escaped at the end of season 2 of Preacher.
I'm like, as soon as I read this, I'm like, I want to invent the time telephone so I could prank call.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to grab a toddler's fake phone and just put stickers over it, labeling it the future Adolf Hitler, and then you can prank call him, and it's like like the Simpsons bit, yabba dabba doo. I like talking to you, guys. It's Hitler.
I mean, could we stop this from happening with a prank call? Like, all right. This, I want you to think about this, okay? Let's take who wants Himmler, who wants Goebbels?
Hey, hang on one second. This, you might be onto something. What if we got a Google Voice number, a toll-free number, and we set up a file system tree that we promised that you would talk through time to various figures, but then they all just go to our phones, and we commit for a week to answering the phone based on their selections, and you just have to pretend to be various figures and play it straight.
Well, let's. I want you guys to prank call. Okay, Goebbels, Ministry of Propaganda. Who wants Goebbels? And then Himmler, who is head of the SS.
Dibs on propaganda.
All right.
All right, then I'll be Himmler. Sure.
All right, so this is your goal. Like, this
I
is.
knew I was gonna say today.
This is. Oh yeah, and you got to play the other one. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. So one, like, who's gonna call? Like, Brian, you're gonna call.
Oh yeah. Beep boop 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 boop.
You're gonna call. You're gonna call Goebbels, right?
Hey. No, I'm Himmler. He's Goebbels.
No. Like, we're gonna do two different scenarios here, two different ones.
I'm calling
Nazi
Goebbels.
prank calls?
Yes. Look.
You each get your own prank call, but first Brian is going to call Goebbels, okay? And Justin, you're going to be Goebbels.
Okay, here we go. Ring, 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 ring. Oh, hey, it's me, Goebbels. Who needs something propagated? Because that's my game.
Commit to this, Justin.
G-Dog, listen, you don't know me. My name's Herbert, and I work over in acquisitions. I'm under Hitler's stealth team. We've got a new campaign that the big man wants you to do, and it's called right now we have a lot of polls, and they're tracking in a way that make it seem like, and I know it's totally messed up, that the Nazis are unrelatable. So
okay. Hold on, whoa. I'm writing all this down. I got a few things that I got to double check here. You said you were taking polls. Nobody's supposed to be taking polls that I don't know about. Where are you getting money for this?
Hey man, you could be replaced. You just think twice about this.
Herbert.
Yeah, this is Herbert.
Herbert who?
Hoofman. Hoofmeister.
Hoofman.
Herbert Hoofman-meister.
Is it that of the Berlin Hoofman?
Because I think that the just gonna say the Hoo Hoffmans were not treated too well.
You better check if your refrigerator's running by. Click, and then I hang up. All right, I didn't do so good.
I'm gonna set the scene here now, Brian. This is I forgot to set everything because what happened was, well, this morning a van pulled up in front of your house. Some security guys came out with government badges, flashed the badge, said, "Brian, get into the van." This van, you're like, "What do I do? I have rights. I'm from Austin. I'm Brian. Like, just get in the van."
Well, I mean that, and by the way, whether I'm being accosted or not, that is how I exit the door every single day, is saying, "What are you doing? I have rights. I'm Brian. I live in Austin."
Brian, there's pizza in the van.
All right, fine. I got.
Right. They take you to a facility, an underground facility, and then doors open up, vault goes in there, and there's a telephone there, and there's a man on the other side of the telephone. It's like, Brian, we've just, this amazing thing happened last night. We don't know how long. There's some strange planetary alignment. our phone grid is connected with the German phone grid in like 1942. It's amazing. It's strange. And we're like, how do we capitalize on this? And we're like, Google search, and we came up with Scam School. And you're the guy. You're the guy. We need you to stop the war right now. 1940. It's 1941. We want you to just stop the war at, right there. 1941, Mr. Scam School. Like, this is like, I may get a promotion out of this, by the way.
Okay. Well, it seems like we should be able to bankrupt them, ? By sending them on a fool's errand. But I just called Goebbels. He didn't fall for it. He asked for me for ID.
Right, bring in Justin Robert Young.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, well, when in doubt, call me.
That's you out.
That's how I exit my house all the time.
Justin, Brian kind of failed miserably. In fact, that he may have made the situation worse. There's probably calls going all around, the Nazi phone system. Like, hey, listen, there may be prank callers who have our phone directory.
All right.
Here's a phone. Call somebody.
I'll take the case. Who am I calling?
How about Himmler? Let's call Himmler.
All right, Himmler. He's the SS one, right?
Yeah, head of the SS.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna take my phone. Beedle-up, boop, 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 ba-doop. Calling Himmler. All right, thank you, smartphone. Calling Himmler.
Beep 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 boop boop. Yeah, it's Himmler.
Himmler. Hey.
Yes.
Real quick, man. I don't have a lot of time. I really I need a big favor, and I can't tell you who it's from if you catch my drift.
I'm sorry. Was ist das? Who ist?
Listen, man, if you do not listen to what I am saying right now, I do not have time for this. There's going to be big trouble from up top, okay?
Okay, but I just was on phone with...
I just listen. I need you to take down a few names, all right? A few names. You got to round these people up. You just got to get the word out. They are on the run right now. Right now.
A manhunt. Okay, I have paper and pen. Go.
Okay, here we go. Last name.
Yeah.
Joss, Jass.
Yeah.
Okay, first name Hugh.
So and how much do you want this Hugh Jass?
We gotta get him now. We gotta lock it down. We gotta. It doesn't matter how rough you gotta be on Hugh.
I will be very rough with Hugh Jass.
Punish, Mr. Jass.
I will punish him he will get a spanking. Do not worry.
Okay. There's another one. Jeez. I mean, God. How odd is this? Another Hugh. First name Hugh. All right. And then middle initial G. All right. Last name Bonnier. It's a French name. These French guys running around. Bonner. Hugh G. Boner.
Well, if I get my hands on Hugh G. Boner, he'll not forget what comes next. I'll throttle him very hard.
That's it. Huge ass and Hugh G. Boner. You gotta make sure you get them. Don't let them get together, for God's sakes.
Oh no,
we're gonna mess on our hands.
So separate cells. Don't put Hugh G. Boner in Hugh Jass cell.
Oh, not anywhere. Okay.
And then, the security.
Thank you, Himmler. Anyway, see you later.
So the security officials here are making like in this conversation note because they're looking through notes, they're pulling out filing cabinets and stuff, and they're like, we had two spies in Berlin at that time.
Oh no, what were their names?
And we didn't know it was a hurry. We didn't know what to name them, so we named them, Huge Ass and Huge Boner.
Oh.
Are you guys doing a bit? Was this a bit? Like send them in like that?
It was in a hurry. We had to place them. We just, said come up with a couple names. We didn't know that, 70 years later, some jerks were going to prank call through a time-traveling telephone and expose the whole spy operation. They were on their way to kill Hitler. And he just ruined it.
Gosh darn it. Well, a butterfly in Brazil, right?
No, we killed that one. We got that one.
we stopped 5 storms this year. You didn't even see them.
You have no idea. Stopped so many butterflies. Hey, this fun little make-believe merriment could be fun. Maybe we should do a whole little segment of this.
Oh, and what would we call it?
Time traveling telephone.
Or Journey Quest.
Oh yeah, no, we call it Journey Quest. That's good.
Journey
I like
Quest!
I don't know if we have a recap.
It's in the chat right now.
Oh, it is. Hey, there we go. Look at this. Perfect. And previously on
Journey Quest!
I'm trying to bring order back to the world, and I want your help. I need your help to do this. Everything goes haywire. Your door automatically opens and you fall, Brian.
I run, grab a parachute, and I jump out of the Hindenburg, therefore trying to save us from another 2 episodes of separate storyline.
So if I remember correctly, I was leading a tribe of chimpanzees, right?
Yep.
And Justin, we didn't know where he was.
Yeah, we don't know where Justin is.
I landed far away from you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm leading my tribe, my new peoples. Number 1, number 7, he's funny. Number 7, he'll get you, man. Number 235, yeah, I think he's got aspirations of dethroning me. But number 276 seems to have hand sign that he will kill him if he tries.
So, Justin, you crash through the jungle, break through the skylight, and the next thing you know, you are inside of an abandoned shopping mall.
Oh my God!
Wait, in the middle of a jungle?
Brian, why are you questioning me?
Sorry.
Why are you here? I'm sorry, Brian.
I'm on my own separate adventure, and I just thought to myself randomly, I wonder if there's any abandoned shopping malls in the middle of the jungle. And then I was like, that would be surprising.
All right, I smash through the Galleria roof glass, and I land, and I say, oh my God, there's a shopping mall in the middle of this jungle.
And it's run down. There are vines and weeds. Part of the skylights have been broken through in other places, so it's just sort of like turning to rotten vegetation. Okay.
Can I see any of the stores?
Yeah, there's stores there. There's Hot Topic.
Pacific
there's an
Sun?
Apple store. What's that?
Is there a Pacific Sun?
There is a PacSun. There is a PacSun store.
All right, I grab a one of those belts that kind of look like they were woven together.
Sweet. So you got that, and then you hear noises like things getting knocked over in the far end of the mall.
That seems dangerous. Do I have any weapons on me?
No, you don't. You can look around though.
I want so bad to believe. I want so bad to believe that you hear the sound of Nazis trying to say, "Huge ass, you cannot hide forever."
Can I go to? Is there a Dick's or a Sports Authority that I can go to get a baseball bat or something?
There's a Dick's at the end of the mall.
Nice. All right, I go to that. Wait,
Okay.
Say it again.
Opposite of where the noises are coming from.
All right, good. I go to the Dick's and I procure myself a Casey Jones style hockey mask and a hockey stick and a baseball bat and cleats.
All right. Cleats too. Okay, cool. So now you're all set up. You're all well defended, and you hear this sort of like stampeding on the floor coming towards you, right?
Okay.
And then you see things getting knocked back and forth, left and right. And there you see a giant, massive wild boar.
All right. I'm going to have to go back to that Dick's and see if it has a gun department because I did not remember to go find the guns. Is there a gun department at the Dick's?
Everything's been broken and looted. There's no guns there.
Okay.
And the boar has now followed you into Dick's. It's now inside of there.
In my separate adventure, hoping that I have a psychic connection with Justin, I think, if Justin's in trouble, I hope he thinks of archery.
Or
crossbows.
I was gonna look for archery before I had this annoying psychic connection saying what I was already thinking. Yeah, no, I look for any archery section.
No, all the weapons have been cleaned out because there's apocalypse, so people went through them all and ransacked it. You're lucky to get some baseball bats and stuff because people are like, baseball,
So is the board chasing me, or is it just kind of trotting?
It's stalking you now inside Dick's Sporting Goods. It knows you're there. You hear it's huffing, and you hear it just it's just getting. You see racks and stuff getting knocked over, and it's kind of literally chasing you around. You might want to hop up on a counter.
So yeah, I do. I do that. I try to get up as high as I can on as sturdy of a thing as I can.
All right, so there you're up on the counter. And all of a sudden, the boar is right below you, and it's trying to like tusk you.
I whack it. I try to whack it with a hockey stick.
It's a little dazed, comes at you again.
I whack it again.
Your hockey stick busts. It's just like a big sharp shard.
I try to stab it in the eye with the sharp shard.
Oh, you stab it in the eye, it lets out this blood-curdling squeal. Right?
Uh-huh.
Big squeal. Big
nice.
squeal. Right?
Nice.
Big squeal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get
thrashes around, spins around on the floor, blood everywhere. Maybe you leap down and stab it in the heart.
Well, that seems like something that might go my way and might not. I'm just gonna sit here and watch it bleed on the ground.
It's bleeding, still squealing.
just howling.
It's definitely been a while now. A lot of squealing. I still have that shard. Kind of really hoping that I don't jump down to stab it in the heart and then it flips right back up because it was, lead me on. But you want to know what? I summon all my courage. I take a big leap and with two hands, as if I'm in a movie, I have the shard in my hands and I try to drive it into the heart of the beast.
And it dies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boom.
Now, here you are, middle of a Dick's Sporting Goods, dead boar.
Yeah.
A little hungry.
I think it's time to get myself a little cooking. This boar, I assume, too big to drag, right?
It's kind of, you could cut it up into little bits of boar meat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I'm gonna get how it would be best for me. I figure out the best way to get the boar meat to. In fact, no. You want to know what? First, I go and I investigate the food court to see if any of the kitchen equipment still work.
Actually, you find some knives and some other stuff there.
Awesome. All right, so I bring that back and I begin to cut up that boar.
Okay, now as you're on your way back, you did hear the sound of maybe the soft sound of footsteps.
Okay, I just want to let everybody know, including myself. This is me talking to myself in this thing. I don't care if this was a mother boar with a bunch of cute little babies. That was her, me, and if I see one of these cute little babies, I will kick it right in the head.
Hear more footsteps. You go back into there. So now, are you cooking the boar? What are you doing?
Yeah. So I've cut up the boar, and now I'm bringing it back to the food court to try to cook it up.
So you're cooking it up, smelling really good. You actually grabbed some barbecue sauce. Maybe you found some buns that hadn't gone bad.
I'm actually cooking it in on the flatbed hibachi that they have for like the hibachi place in the food court. And I'm doing tricks, right? I find a little. I don't have any like shrimp that I can like flip up into my hat, but I do. I try to flip just random, like a random pig bone, like up and do. They still had the hat.
Oh no, you found a Panda Express, and you actually found some like preserved like shrimp and some other stuff too. You did find that.
All right. I'm doing the whole thing for myself. Like I'm cutting up the onions, so there's the little volcano, and I'm doing all the hibachi bits. Yeah.
As you do this, you get the sensation you're being watched.
I say very loud, if you're a cute little boar baby, I hope that you get the F out of my face right now because you are going to be dessert.
Still being watched. A couple
You know
noises.
what they say about Chinese little boy babies? I'm going to be hungry in 30 minutes.
And then you see a pair of eyes watching you.
I say, listen, you want some? Come get some. I murdered your mom. I'll murder you right in the face. I don't care how young you are.
Then you hear crying. Why did you murder my mom?
Oh my God, it's a sentient pig. Is it a sentient? How would the mom not talk?
So what do you say?
Who are you?
My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer's a little girl.
Why did you call me a pig?
Come on out. Wait, were you being raised by the pig?
No, you just said you murdered my mom.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Okay. Number one, bad first impressions. That's I've been told I make them. So, come on in here, little girl. I didn't murder your mom. I murdered a pig. The good news is we got a ton of pig stuff. Is your mom here? Did she leave you, or what happened?
Somebody murdered my mom.
Somebody murdered your mom. Okay.
And then here you
murder
were
your mom.
talking about murdering moms, and so logically,
I smelled pig. And Jennifer says, I got to go away for a moment, and they're not sure what's going on. And then, hold on a second. We're not sure what Jennifer's up to, but Jennifer may be getting a text message.
oh,
Hold on.
oh golly, I sure do miss my mom who died. You don't have a mom with you, do you?
No.
All right, here you go.
No, I don't. I don't have a mom with me. I'm just a guy who tried to escape a Nazi regime to hook up with my friend out here in the jungle. I was trying to save dual plot lines, and boy, did that blow up in my face.
Well, you know, some people. You seem like a weary traveler on an adventure who could use some help.
You seem like you have Mrs. Doubtfire's voice, but go ahead. You're right.
Well, if you've ever read The Economist Julian Simon, then you know that people are the most valuable resource of all. Would you like some extra tiny helping hands on your adventure?
Yeah, no, come on over. You want some pork fried rice? Because I'm cooking up some pork fried rice.
Can I get my brother to come over too?
Sure. Yeah. Where's your brother?
Gaston is over back on. He's at the Jamba Juice, and usually Timothy hangs out on the roof. And then, I guess my sisters too, Gertrude, Gertrine, Geary, Goliath.
Wait a minute,
Gucci.
hold on. How many you kids are here?
I don't know the word because our parents died so long ago, but they used to make a joke. They say we're cheaper by the frozen.
The frozen?
I guess. I don't know. I never understood it. Is a frozen a thing?
Is that more than a dozen?
Wait, what's a dozen? No, dozen. That's the word they use. They use cheaper by the dozen. That's what they used to say. But nobody. We don't have school here, so I don't know. There's just a few of us.
How old is your oldest brother?
Well, I believe he's a frozen.
And sister, are your sisters older than your brother, your oldest brother?
Half frozen and half of a half frozen. Oh, and the baby. We take care of the baby too.
Wait, how long ago did your parents die?
It's hard, man. Hard to remember. Hard to remember.
But there's the baby.
I don't even know the word. Yeah. I guess that would be pretty weird. I guess now that I think about it, you're right. The baby must have been alive. Unless it's maybe that. Maybe my mom died like The Walking Dead, giving birth to the baby, and so it's like 3 years ago.
This sounds reassuring. Okay. So There's 12 of you. How do you eat here in this shopping center?
Well, we keep having to use the same peanut oil over at the Chick-fil-A, but there's enough frozen or packaged waffle fries for us to get by. Mainly, we like to play with the sentient pigs that run around here.
Wait, you play with them?
Well, yeah. We play a game called hide and seek. They go clomping around, and then sometimes they'll make it real fun and hilarious, and like they'll make snorting, menacing noises as if they're out to get us. But it just makes it more fun when we hug.
So that's not a real menacing boar that was out to kill people. Like you guys are friends with?
They that was their job. They were genetically engineered to be sentient boars that protected us from the outside land. And we were down to, we had just one left because the chimpanzees got other ones.
The chimps got the other ones.
I think so. I mean, I'm 12. I'm 12.
All right, Jennifer. Wait, you're the oldest? There's a lot of inconsistencies here. So, Jennifer, I have.
Oh, you hear a noise. You hear more footsteps.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's our other brothers and sisters.
Oh, come on in, guys. I want to speak to you all. Come on in, guys.
I wouldn't. Okay. Jennifer sort of takes a few steps back, but watches very attentively.
Guys, don't worry. I got some really, really bad news for you. First and foremost, my name is Brian Brushwood, and I am it used to be, back when society ran, used to be a YouTube magician, and
they all start whispering like, "Oh, the YouTube."
I just want to tell you guys some really bad news. I know it's been a while. You guys have been through a lot with your parents being gone apparently immediately
after
after
pushing really close in. They're getting really, really tight in, and there's more of them.
Just
there's
super interested. Like their eyes are glistening with wide-eyed excitement for what comes next.
Yeah. I am a weary traveler, and I've made my way into your house, and I saw one of the most horrifying sights I've ever seen in my entire life. Right as I walked into the Dick's Sporting Goods in the front door, I saw not one, not two, but 3 chimpanzees brutally murdering your sentient pig.
They say they nod as if that's not a really interesting part of the story to them as they take another closer step to you, and they say, and then Jennifer says, "When are the nuggets?" And and another of the children says, "Not yet."
White.
Ah. Okay, so
now you realize you're surrounded.
Who wants pork fried rice? Because there's pork fried rice here.
They begin a very quiet chant that goes, other white meat, other white meat,
okay,
so meat.
Are you guys sure you don't want any pork fried rice? As I flip as much steaming hot pork fried rice, everything goes at these kids right in the face. I'm flipping the volcano. I'm spraying the everything on there, so there's just a gigantic fireball on the on the table. I'm pulling out all
children.
Now
there are children on fire.
Advanced black belt hibachi defense. That's what I'm employing. I'm just lighting stuff on fire and throwing at them.
Jennifer screams and says, "Nuggets!" And then they all start running for you, just like it's World War Z, just bodies of children swarming at you.
I coat my baseball bat in oil and I dip it into the flame. I get in full batting stance as I say, "Let's do this," and I just take them out head first. Just all their tiny little skulls cracking with the bat, my flaming bat.
They hold on. They come running at you just without stopping. Hold on. Dang it. They start singing the Nug song. As they're coming at you, wave after wave. They're saying, "Nugs, nugs, gotta get those nugs, nugs."
I'm popping them as fast as I can as I look for any kind of seam that I can start making my way out. Do I see anything?
I think you make your way through over a body of dead children.
Yeah, boom. And I'm not even putting them out neither. They're still flaming from my flaming bat.
Yeah, you find an exit and you run and you find the forest and you start running towards there.
Are we sure that I can't just make a little bit more pork fried rice, like for the road, though? Like,
you should have shoved some in your pockets when you had a chance.
All right, I put some the left of the pork fried rice in the pocket, and and then as I'm leaving the pile of dead children, I grab a fortune cookie and I throw it down, and I say, "Don't forget to check it. I don't think it's positive news."
Jennifer checks it, and it says, "Today you'll be betrayed and be left to die. Also, your lucky numbers are 72, 15, 3, 5, and pi."
In the Chinese pictogram for white meat, and one of the characters suspiciously looks like your face.
All right, I shove the pork fried rice in my pocket and I make my way out.
So meanwhile, we're going to touch over to Brian, who is marching through the jungle, being trailed by his. Brian is now the leader of a pack of chimpanzees.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach them all to whistle because I saw a bridge over the river Kwai, and so I'm all like,
And it's funny. You know who wrote the book that was based on?
Andrew Bain?
No.
Oh,
Pierre Boulez.
Who's that?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
that's great. I explained this to the chimpanzees. Do I see any glimmer of understanding in their eyes?
No, but you come to a part of the that you come to a place in the forest where there's sort of like, it feels like a road. There's like an actual like leftover sort of road, and they're really insistent you go down there.
I shrug shoulders. I hold up for a high five. I do my ceremony. I've taught them how to high five too. I'm hoping.
High five. They high five. They love high fiving, and they're high fiving with each other and stuff.
And then although I can only use the one hand, I only have one good hand. So
let's do that.
High five. Let's go. Let's go.
They go, and they're getting excited. They're like, and one of them makes these motions with you, like
twisting
tool motion. What's that?
Like motorcycle handles. Like I'm
like tool motions, like
spinning around. Huh?
It points to you and like.
I oblige him by doing the Macarena.
I
don't entirely know what I'm doing. Do I see anything nearby?
You're getting closer, Brian. You see a billboard. You see a large billboard, and behind it there's a wall it's like this wall. You can't see quite what's behind the wall, but you start to pull down the foliage from the billboard, and you can see that it was there. Like, you pull this down, and they're helping you, and they pull it down.
Eons ago. Okay, yeah. Let's clean this up. Hey, man, it takes a village. Am I right? High five.
They pull all the greenery around, and they just start clapping. They're excited.
Am I able to see what's on this billboard?
You can see it now, Brian.
What's it say?
Grand Prix Racerama Go-Kart Track.
I start to hoot like a chimpanzee and begin to clap my hand against my stump. And I say, and I turn, I wave my arms akimbo and shout, "Who wants to do some go-karts?"
Because like on the billboard, like the person riding, it's actually a chimp riding a go-kart. It's the mascot. It's, Racer Chimps Grand Prix.
I stopped listening to your narration and as a full run headed towards the go-karts.
Brian. You go through the gate and you find the track it's been cleared. The track's cleared, and actually there are go-karts out there, and the chimps all go hop on the go-karts, but they don't go anywhere.
Well, I kick the translucent fuel canister to see if there's any fuel in them.
It's empty.
Oh, I scan around for red-colored barrels.
You see some red-colored barrels,
Ooh,
Brian.
I scan for hoses.
You find hoses, Brian.
Okay, great. I use the hose on the barrels to refill the go-karts.
You refill the go-karts, Brian.
Okay, I reach over and I pull one of the lawnmower starters and on number 7's go-kart.
He freaks out, hops out of the go-kart afraid, doesn't know what the sound is.
I hold my hands up in what I hope is a non-threatening manner, even though one of them is covered with a chainsaw. I hold up like a finger as if to say, "Hold on there, kiddo." And I get in, and as best I'm able to with one hand, I start to drive the go-kart around.
The chimps form a line. There's and they all go jump into their go-karts.
Great. And then do they know how to start them, or do I have to go show them? I teach them how to start them and how to drive.
You teach them how to start them. They all run to their carts, and then you start all the go-karts.
All right, and then
they're waiting for you. They're looking at that flag because you pointed out what the flag does.
That's right. We're all lined up, ready to go, and I rev my engine on my chainsaw once, twice, and on the third one, I slice down, saying the race is on.
And 40 go-karts slam into each other all at once because chimpanzees are horrible drivers. And there's the most massive go-kart pileup ever. Screams of chimps and delight, by the way, too. The smell of motor oil. There's a fire.
Was I in the pileup, or am I able to win?
You look behind you and you see the pileup.
Great. I keep on going, and I look. I scan the horizon for a blue shell.
What's the blue shell?
That's blue shell's like the legendarily bad tool in Donkey Kong Racing.
Gotcha.
Mario Kart.
So you go do a loop around, and you come back. Right there's the pile, and some of the chimps have managed to pull their carts from the pile.
I rev my engine of my...
And one whizzes right past you. And Brian may have picked up this from you because they didn't know this. May have flipped you off.
Okay, I throw my head back with a lofty, jovial laugh of finally. I haven't felt this like a kid in years. Then I try to take
while
him
I'm
down.
out in the jungle, I hope that I have a psychic connection with Brian, and I say... man, I hope if Brian finds fuel, he doesn't waste it frivolously as we're still hopelessly stuck in the middle of a jungle.
I briefly consider the fleeting thought as I push down on the accelerator full bore to get as fast as I can and try to overtake first place again.
All right, you take the place, chimps. Now, all of a sudden, the chimps' very much aggressive instincts are taking place. Though.
Oh.
You've triggered something. And you look behind you, those happy chimps, they're now like, they're serious driver chimps.
I scan around for banana peels or any other slippery thing to throw behind me.
A chimp jumps from his cart onto your cart right now and tries to bite your face.
Okay. I say, I don't suppose you're here to help. And maybe I check and see if there are antenna whips that go left to right, so that maybe he's actually here to be on my team and defend against
No, he's trying to bite your face, Brian. He's upset.
All right, I with zero remorse just whip my chainsaw at him, try to gut him.
Guts. He falls to the side. The other chimps keep a very respectful distance because you've asserted your dominance again. And then you're whipping around the cart, and you realize there is a hole in the fence that leads to a road, and there is a sign that says Galleria Jungle Mall, 30 miles.
I lean over my shoulder and say, "Y'all ever seen the Blues Brothers?" as I head right towards the mall in my go-kart.
Followed by 30 chimpanzees. 10 died.
Yeah, well, you know what? Survival of the fittest.
So there you go, heading down on a highway, followed by 30 chimpanzees and go-karts.
Just all hooting. I try to start a hooting, a rhythmic hooting, like, hoo, 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 hoo.
And they're all hooting and you're all excited, and then you don't even notice when you pass the first skull and crossbones nailed to a post.
Hey, nobody saw anything, did you? I didn't think so. And off we go.
Yeah. Don't even notice the second billboard that says, Leathertown this way.
I keep just barreling full speed at 15 miles an hour, man.
You catch out of the corner of your eye the sign that says, hey, if you come here, you're asking for it.
All I do, as I'm ignoring this, I think back to that moment in Dino De Laurentiis's Flash Gordon when he's flying blind on a rocket cycle, and I just a big placid grin comes across my face.
The next sign says, Leathertown, there are no safe words here.
At this point, I circle around and gather up the chimpanzees.
Okay.
I was like,
next
hey.
time.
Oh, dang it. Oh, okay.
On Journey Quest.
Boom.
Nice.
Don't worry,
nice.
I think they'll be reunited soon, but there may be more cannibal children on the path for Justin, and Brian has to deal with the complications of raising your own chimpanzee army, but they are mobile now.
Well, and it seems like for the moment I have their respect, which is the important part.
Yeah, you know how to keep it. You got to kill a chimp every now and then.
Hey, I've got a pick if you guys do.
Sure.
Yeah, I got one.
What you got?
I'll start. I'm gonna pick Rick and Morty because it was really good, and I watched the last 2 episodes that I hadn't watched yet, and my favorite subplot of Rick and Morty, the meta, is how much Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland like fighting over the interdimensional cable episodes, where obviously it was one of the most memorable parts of season 1. In season 2, like there was all this mentioning of like, oh, I guess we're tempting fate. Like, who knows if it'll be as funny again? This is all improv. Like, this is crazy, and it wasn't as funny. And they like even like hinted that was like a huge fight that they had behind the scenes. And so now, this year's they don't do improv. It's Morty's Mind Blowers. They make a little plot out of it, and yet it kind of lacks a little bit of the crazy freewheeling spontaneity of the internet, the interdimensional cable thing. Although there's plenty of back and forth of like, yeah, we're doing this instead of interdimensional cable. Just so you know, this is the interdimensional cable episode. We're not doing it this year.
Yeah, those moments are pretty great when they're giving stuff away on that.
I totally missed the part. I watched it, but I didn't connect it like at the end where Summer was like, this always happens. You guys fight and you miss your schedule.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was so in the show, I'm not thinking, wait, this is about the show.
Yeah, yep. He's like, yeah, it's more like an anthology we're doing.
Yeah.
I got a pick. There was nothing more delightful than tricking my daughter into coming in and trying out the newest thing we got for the Vive on VR, and the delight in her voice when she realized that she was standing in the world of Voltron, a cartoon that she has very much enjoyed watching with me. It's and all of a sudden the characters are there. Reese Darby, all the actual actors are there. You get to play as Lance and the Blue Lion, and it's a fine hour-long adventure. But if you like the cartoon, and you should like the cartoon because it's a very good Netflix original, then you are going to have a really, really good time playing this little adventure of Voltron VR Chronicles.
That's awesome. And I love the illustration that they did for it. Like, I think that there's so much to be done by hyper stylized stuff like that, and not necessarily trying to go as photorealistic as possible.
Well, and it's funny too. Like, that's one of the things that's great about Voltron is because it's got the same showrunners that did Legend of Korra and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it's like they know how to do comedy beats. They know how to build up tension and then break it. And again, having all the voice actors doing their thing, seeing the big grin on Penny's face when she was playing was just the best.
Sweet. I got a pick. I got one or two. I could either do a tech pick or a media pick.
Well, you can't plug The Naturalist, no matter whether or not it is still number one on the Kindle bookstore.
By the way, closing in on a month.
That's what I was saying.
A month of this.
That's so great, man.
And by the way, at the end of the month, the book actually comes out. Like, this has all been before the book comes out. This is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am overwhelmed.
Humbled and honored.
I can't even begin. It's just you hope that, and it's, that's being really well received and liked. This is great. And so that's just,
and I just remember calling you from Dragon Con when it hit number one and was there for like a day and a half. And I was like, oh my God, we did it, Reddit. This is amazing. And geez, what a paltry achievement that was compared to where it is right now and where it continues to trend. So go get it if you ain't got it yet.
Yeah. So my pick, do you want a media pick or tech pick?
Tech pick.
Tech pick. One moment. Hold it right there. Be right back.
All right. In the meantime, I'm showing off on screen the star spread is extraordinary because usually you'll get a bunch of 5 stars and then there's like kind of a U-shaped curve where there's some people who are like, nah, I don't like this at all. Like there's 1% 1 star, 4% 2 star, 8% 3 star, 26% 4 star, and 61% 5 stars. That's fantastic.
And
I've been very.
I'm definitely reading the sequel, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't even, can't even tell you how excited I am about that. So I've been wanting to get this forever, and I finally checked, and I saw that they were in stock. I didn't want to wait 4 to 6 weeks, and I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I could pick them up today or the day I got them. I don't like to wait.
Oh, are those
dental floss?
Are those
floss? Yes, no.
Earbuds?
These are the
AirPods?
Apple AirPods.
How do you like them?
I love them because I don't have to look at myself with them in.
You feel bad for everyone else.
Have you tried these?
No, I've not. Yeah, you know what? I fell in love with. I've got the Bose Quiet Control ones that have a battery pack in here, and they do noise canceling.
Oh.
And so I'll leave these in all the time.
So this is great because this thing fits in your pocket. You go out, you put this in your pocket instead of rolling up your cords. You can put one in. Both of them can do sound, or both of them have microphones. So you can use one, like the left or the right, talk, have a conversation, or you can do both if you want to have stereo. Having them connect with your iPhone or your Apple TV is super easy. You just open the case, and it's like, oh, do you want to pair? Like, yes, I want to pair. Or there's a button you press. Battery life is great, and they charge while they're in the case. So I'll go out there and I'll talk, and I'll get maybe like 2.5 hours out of talk out of them. And then I'll get like low battery notice, just so you know, and I'll put one back in the little case, which charges it.
Ah.
In that case, you could go all day. You can go all day with them. They sync up great. This case is pretty easy to put in the pocket. The quality of sound is fine. It's not as good as like a more robust sort of system, but for what it is, it's been great. I've been using it late at night, like my Apple TV. If I want to watch TV and not wake up my neighbors, I can use it with my Apple TV. It's been a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, the charge case is fantastic because you can keep these in the case when you don't need them, but the case is also a charger for them. So just wonderful.
I thought that was a really smart idea to do that. And the fact that now those are going to also be, or they are also now wireless charging available. So when the new Apple big old mat that you can just put all those different things on, that'll be another thing that can charge wirelessly. I'm excited, because I've gotten the W1 chip experience with the Beats X that I have, and I've liked it. But really, my biggest problem with it is battery life, because it doesn't just turn off when I'm not using it. And I think that's something that just is solved, because you're not just going to leave those in your ears. You're going to wind up putting them back in the case if you're not using them. And that is awesome to just kind of constantly be topping them off.
Yeah, so I've been very, very happy with that. So anyhow, that's my pick. So it's one of these things like I hate you buy something, you're like am I gonna be happy with it? And very thrilled, very thrilled.
Awesome.
Cool. Gentlemen, it's been weird.
Hell yeah.
It sure has. Man, I am fading fast, gentlemen. If we could just jump right into after things, that would be helpful to me.
All right,
Yeah,
so we have
I'm gonna have to
Brian,
powder
right? We have a way to reach him?
as well.
Oh, sorry, say again?
Our guest?
Oh, I believe our guest rescheduled for Monday is what I was told.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Could I use the restroom real quick? Though?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
All right, here.
Thanks.
We'll just... Here's some music that Justin won't be able to enjoy.
It's running deep. Our hearts went to running deep. We stood beneath that heaven moon, and something whispered someday soon we'll kiss. There, tomorrow was another day. The morning found me miles away, with still a million things to say. Oh, here, as twilight beams the skies above, recalling what's left of our love. There's one thing that I'm certain of: return I will to my Brazil.
Oh, whoops. Oh, my goodness.
Feeling all right, buddy?
We got this. We got this.
You're a trooper.
Just a little bit more. A little longer,
Just
little
makes me
longer.
feel a little better. I'm a little bit hungry right now.
I mean, it seems, kumasei, kumasao. So it seems to be about the same thing.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
I'm one of your chimps, Brian. I'm waiting for the code.
Oh, sorry. Ready to go in 3, 2.
Welcome to After Things. I'm Andrew Main, joined by Brian the Trooper Brushwood.
Oh, I'm still alive. You've not gotten me yet, old man sickness.
Brian, and don't take this the wrong way, but I'm feeling nauseous just looking at you. You have that look.
I also
have that look.
I also am feeling nauseous, but because of other reasons.
And speaking of not nauseating, is Justin Robert Young.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
So, gentlemen, I'm gonna hijack this this conversation, this show, for a little bit of reflection, perhaps. We are, as mentioned, we just said in After Things. My book, The Naturalist, has now been on #1 on the Amazon paid Kindle store now for the better part of a month. And I've made the Amazon charts, where the Amazon charts is another thing to check, where what charts does is they take every book and they add together, like if you take, let's say, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, depending where you are, how many books it sold, how many ebooks it sold, how many audiobooks it sold, how many page reads they had of it, whatever. And they have a most sold and they have a most read section and the most. So that's my book has only had the ebook available for pre-order, but that's been able to make it for the last couple of weeks. It's exciting. I don't mean to be like, hey, everybody, yay, me. Because that would really.
Well, all right. And for the record, if there was ever a time in your career to be yay me, this is a pretty good time to use that coupon.
Yeah, but I think people tell me it's already expired. So,
wah
wah. And I want to talk about this. So, like, what happened? So, I do a lot of Periscope sessions. I talk about stuff, but I don't get too into the business of what's going on because one, I don't want to bore people with it, and also because I get questions like, oh, like what about TV or film or things like that. And one of the things you have to understand, for many people out there may not know, like when you talk about TV or film development or shows or things or books and properties getting optioned, is when something gets optioned, when somebody says, hey, we like an option is where somebody says, hey, we want X amount of time to try to set this up and get it into production. So they come to you, they offer you some money to say, hey, we'll pay you this for 6 months or a year to try to get this set up at a studio and have a studio buy this to make it into a thing. Mm-hmm. And then if the studio says we're going to buy it, then you get a bigger chunk of money, right? Option is basically saying you're exclusive. You're the only one who can sell it if you can pull this deal through.
And by the way, that exclusivity is no joke because nobody will even take your property out to pitch it unless they know for a fact that they and only they have rights to do so.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So options happen all the time. Options happen every day. Thousands of properties are optioned. Yet the opportunities for things to get made into things, there's just not enough opportunities. And I don't know what the odds are, but you know, for every 50 options, maybe something actually gets made or whatever. So that's the thing you have to think about. So I have never really gone out there and like had a tweet or, hey, everybody, I just option this here. You might see something in my bio or something might happen if I'm working with a good good studio or somebody to say, this is currently under development here or there because it works for there. But I don't like to talk about it because it's just, I've watched other authors tell people like, hey, everybody, check this out. And it's like, most options never materialize.
It is one of those things where it's like, unless you're working with a blockbuster kind of partner, it is a sign of how many times you've been through this ringer on how much you want to talk about that, you know, later as you've been through it a few times, you might have more going on, but you are certainly talking less about how you're taking meetings in Hollywood because that's just the process, you know?
Yeah. I think if you bring in like a really great partner or something, or it's your first time out, I think that there's an advantage to doing that. But when you start telling your fans like, hey, this is being developed here, you know, when you know that 90% of the time it will never go 90% of the time it won't even get bought. And then probably
So this is where you and I have differing philosophies. Because to me, like, I mean, that's 100% right. But like to me, knowing that there's a 90% probability this will go nowhere, then that means the mere fact that you have an option is the extent of the reward you're going to get. So it's like I don't mind telling everyone. I'm just like how cool! Look at me! I'm pretending to be a Hollywood type.
Well, no, but there is a difference between what you do, like what Have done with Scam School, and what Andrew does. In that there is this other element of like, all right, well, we're just going to pay you to secure the rights on all these different projects, and so like it's a lot more of a regular kind of thing. And also, you haven't like come out and told every time that you've been at the earliest nascent stages of television production.
I mean, not since the actual TV show, but like leading up to it, because it was a 10-year journey of pitches and stuff, and a lot of failures. And about halfway through that journey, before the TV show came out, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to tell everyone always, and that'll be as much of the reward as I'll get.
I think that I think you bring up a good point, and for me. I'll do the personal celebration of something. I'll call you guys up and say, hey, cool, this is what's going on here, and enjoy those moments, because those are often the only moments you get is when the potential. So I do that. I don't share it on a larger scale because to me, it's this what happened to this, what happened to that, what happened to this sort of things. It's just
because every time you press that button, that hype button, it loses a little bit of power if it doesn't yield anything. And that's fair enough, because you're right. I guess socially is what I'm thinking of. Like, I'll tell everyone socially.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about jinxing it, because I just assume everything's going to fail.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Brian, how many times a month do you get when is Hacking the System coming back?
Geez. I will say there's not been a single month since the show went off the air that someone hasn't been asking that. And then now though, because we did the Scam School pilots, now once a month I get that question of like, hey, whatever happened to TV on Scam School? And I'm like, look, dude, years. This stuff takes years to get figured out.
Yeah, and ultimately, I guess that's the thing, is at least you want to have the credit of being on television to get those questions instead of like, oh, I told all my fans that I went to a meeting at MTV and at Discovery, and it's like, oh, what happened to MTV and Discovery? Like, when do they love you?
Yeah, it's that you want people to be excited about what you do, and we get into these positions like, what about this? We have to like, well, this, and you have to sort of, educate people like, this is how the business works. But you don't want to be like, no, you don't want to be punitive or whatever, because it's like, well, I just liked you. I just wanted more. Why are you yelling at me? So there's that balance to it. But anyhow, I mean, I will tell you that one of the things that happens when you have a book that does really well is you certainly get, interest from people who want to see this property into another format like film or TV, et cetera. And also you get this, what else do you got sort of thing from the publishing world. And
right.
So that's a thing now. And so my goal when I started writing 5 years ago was I wanted to do 3 or 4 books a year. I wanted to have 3 or 4 books a year. I wanted to build up some series that I could do that. This year is great. I did 3 books this year, and the success of The Naturalist has been fantastic. I have next year, we have another Theo Cray book coming out in March, and I'm figuring out the rest of the slate. But that was my goal, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do now to kind of get into what's going on in that capacity. Is that I'm trying to leverage the enthusiasm for the writing now, because there's time when it's like, who cares? Nobody cares. And when somebody does care, I'm trying to position myself so everything my agent's like, can we do this? And other things I'm saying, yes, I can do that. No, I don't know if I can do that. But trying to just figure out the next steps.
So I don't know if this is where you're headed, but I do want to kind of check in on this. You had mentioned that there were 2 people interested in different versions of one of your properties. And
Brian, whatever I told you privately, I told privately.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, no. I in the abstract, I just want to know, like, that to me is agonizing. How do you choose, like, when you have multiple suitors, how do you choose? That would drive me nuts. Luckily, I don't have a #1 best-selling book.
It's more and it's even more complicated than that. So
really?
It's hypothetically speaking, when you're dealing with properties, and I've gone through this before with Angel Killer, et cetera, is you talk to people who have different ideas what they want to do for it, whatever, and and you measure. One way to do that with other property, you measure their enthusiasm. Because it's like, oh, if they say, hey, we can have this for a period of time, how enthusiastic are they going to be about it? That's one of the things, is you could have a great name, somebody who's super, super excited, when you meet with them and they've got a fantastic name and that'll carry a lot of weight. But if you're like, they've got 20 projects on their slate and you're like, okay, will I really be the most important project on their slate, or will I be another option?
Well, and I guess part of the reason I'm asking you this as me seeking your mentorship and expertise, because there's been a number of, Modern Rogue is doing very well, and we're getting suited by a lot of people, but all of them, it's that damned E word. It's exclusivity. They want to be the only one, and it just paralyzes me. Even if, like, there's been some agencies that are top of the class, and it's like, but after 15, 20 years of, most agents of all stripes just seem to, to add you to the roster and then
yes,
forget about you, and that's it.
That's a very big concern, because you can have people who are very excited because it's hot right now, and then they might take it out and see if they can make a quick sale. If they don't, then you get hip pocketed, and they tell you, hello there. They tell you, oh yeah, you're important. We're excited. This is this, but you're not. And that's the challenge, is to figure out, like, okay, I want somebody who's going to really be enthusiastic to pursue this and whatnot.
So are there heuristics that you look for, little ways that you can tell they're not a joker?
So I'll tell you what I do in reality TV. Okay, if I have a project, like I have a project set up with one studio place right now, a science-based thing and another thing, and then we had another one we wanted to do, and we said, okay, this is the particular kind of network. Who is selling to this network? Who is actively selling to this network? Okay, who's had a deal within the last year with the place that I want to sell to? That's not always. Sometimes there are people that haven't sold there, but the network wants to buy from them, which you can also find out. So my question is, when I get presented by an agent like, oh, we want to go here, 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 I'm like, what have they been selling? Because that tells me who they're working with. If they haven't been selling, if they've been out of the game for a while, their chance of selling this thing is really, really challenging.
Yeah,
And,
well, because they have as much of a, like you alluded to, frequency of success is very often the very measure of success in Hollywood and television and movie making. And when it comes down to that very, very, very tense, like, okay, now we have to make a hard decision on what we put money and effort and resources into, the tiebreakers are often, when did you do it last? And who'd you do it for? And are you my guy? Are you the guy that I like, that I want to make sure has a success? And that's what I think, Brian, you're looking at a situation now with Modern Rogue where you've got a shifting entertainment landscape, agencies that have found over the last 10 years, and now even more so, that diversity is the key. Nobody wants to get everything so loosey-goosey that nobody wants to get left out on the big wave, right? No one, we can't get left out on Vine stars like we did last time. So make sure that every little thing, gets locked down. And so now Modern Rogue is what that is. But you're talking to a lot of, either agencies that can pair you up with other people in their agency for television or for other advertisers that they work with. That is a little bit more of a terrifying exclusivity decision than Andrew, where it's like, listen, right now the decisions that you have been making and will make about all of your properties is important because you've got a book in doing the kind of success that it is. But in general, it's like, okay, if I like these people, I think that they have a good shot at doing something, then let's put it together for a year and a half or a year, get money coming in. Because for authors, a lot of times it's the option money that's really the, like, pay your rent, live money, because that's stuff that if you are doing well enough, you can keep turning over these options and now figure out, like, okay, well, where do I want to go writing-wise?
yeah, and I have to figure out like the bigger play of like, what do I want to do? Because you get these opportunities where things work out your way and you're like, okay, the decisions, the Naturalist was a book I wrote 2 years ago, and so the labor that I spent 2 years ago now is coming, getting the reward from that. And that means that the things that are going to really benefit me a year or 2 years from now are going to be the decisions I make right now. And, I had my first big pop outside of like my initial pop just as a writer with Public Enemy Zero, and Angel Killer by itself was the year that HarperCollins picked up Angel Killer and I got the TV show. And the TV show was a distraction to the writing. It was absolutely a distraction to the writing, but it was a smart choice to do. It would have been dumb for me not to have done the TV show, but it did not accelerate the writing. It did not accelerate that platform.
The TV show is sort of like an MSG ingredient in the mix, where it's like everything you do now gets to have the tagline "Star of A&E's Don't Trust Anne Germain," and you get to casually talk about the millions of people who watched.
But it was a year that I spent working on that, not a year when my writing was at this critical point that I could have been putting a lot of energy into that.
Well, and it's like it gave you a path. It laid out a path for you that ultimately would have been contrary to writing, right? Because the big doors that open up when you're on television are, hey, how about these corporate events? Hey, how about doing a week or a month in Macau or something where now it's starting to air. Like you can tour all these international areas, but that means putting together a magic show and doing all the stuff that isn't sitting in your cave and pounding out the next book.
And as you guys know, I turned that stuff down, and that was a challenging decision because there was a lot of opportunity, a lot of money, potential money was laid in, go do this and you'll make this and this will be really great and kind of money for life kind of thing. But I knew that, I said to myself, what do I want to do? I mean, if I go do this, then I'm going to be doing this for the next several years. I don't have a family to support. I don't have kids. Like, I don't need the money. What I need is to do the thing that I really want to do, and chasing illusions around the world, going to different places. Like, at this point in my life, I'm more excited about the books, the idea of the books and turning that into an entertainment platform and doing that. So, and that's hard, man. That's hard. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to make that choices, but that was that. And there are points where I'm like, what do I do? Ken says, now Andrew has a show. I had a show reel long before then, man. I've been doing pilots forever.
Yeah.
An amazing one. But I liked it. Justin was in my first pilot ever. So
I was in your second pilot too.
Yeah. So anyhow, the point is you have to decide what you want to do, where you want to go. And as far as I can figure out your partners, is you have a lot of people great and capable. And then you have to figure out, like, okay, what will get me to where I want to go? What will get me to where, and sometimes I talk to this all the time. People are like, I don't know where I want to go. I'm like, well, standing still ain't the best choice. Moving forward. I don't think any one of us are in the position we're in right now that we thought we foresaw 10 years ago.
No, I mean, no. I mean, I could say I could do the cold reading psychic, of like, I could say that I'd be doing something like this, but the idea that I would be making the money that I am making on podcasting is.
Well, I mean, that's my point. We all knew we'd be involved in entertainment. We'd all be personalities. We'd all be doing that for sure. But the idea of Brian splitting from just doing Scam School, but Modern Rogue and Scam stuff and doing that. And also just, what the Patreon platform and things like that have done. And, the sort of the shape of these things, that we're able to still be, very much independent.
I guess that's one of the, I don't want to say we're spoiled in that regard, because I think we all have room to grow and develop, but we're a bit spoiled in that it's possible to now never have to choose between one exclusive or another, and just I don't know, I'm not sure I'm doing the smart thing by just shrugging my shoulders and saying, oh, I don't know, between the store and the online revenues and this stuff, we're doing all right. Because it may be that having the right agent and the right exclusivity and so on really could blow stuff up for us.
I would say there is right now enough hard evidence about agencies and how they're handling YouTube properties that healthy skepticism is warranted right now.
And I would say I have for literary.
Also, guys, I hate to powder here, but I do got to get to physical therapy, so I'm gonna have to bounce off.
Is that your pick? Physical therapy?
Yeah.
All
Peace out.
Later. I would say that Brian, my thoughts on this are, I have partnerships where I go, there are people go, this would be really cool, this would be cool, and I have to think, yeah, but what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And I want that. I want whatever Callie's holding up. What was that?
Yeah, what is that, Callie?
Pick me lollipop.
There. All right, right on. So then that's how you pick. If a toddler shows you a shiny thing, you just go with that.
It's kind of the way it works. And that's fun because you
Too
go in
close.
there, people they're like, oh, well, we could set you up here. We know this network. We could do this or be great. And you're like, yeah. And I carefully chose my literary agent, agency with Robert Gottlieb and Erica Silverman, because they get the business. They've been in it for years. I wasn't getting a lot of we know this people, we know this, whatever. It was about career path. It was experience I had working with other authors.
Well, and that's the thing, is you got to build up that trust, and you've got to have that kind of long-term, reflexive. I don't know, like you have to know they deliver, because that actually happens.
Yep. So it's worked out well. Want to do quick picks?
Yes, man. Okay, so my pick is shameless self-promotion. I did a TED talk. I did a TEDx talk about the Diamond Club book and about the value of social proof, and about how just by virtue, and as you are experiencing right now, Andrew, part of the reason you said yes to the deal that you did with The Naturalist is because you knew that previous people who had done it and had enjoyed benefits of that promotion, and you are now, by virtue of being in the top 10, technically just number one, technically number one, it is creating this virtuous cycle. And so we talk about in the TEDx thing about how we used it for less virtuous stuff by faking the Diamond Club erotic fiction book.
Yeah. Very, very helpful. So where would people find your TEDx talk?
That's a real good question. If you type in TEDx Hartford Brian Brushwood, you should be able to find it pretty much anywhere. It was in Hartford, Connecticut.
My pick is a quick pick, and that is if you're looking for something fun to watch, and this was Peter J. Wax recommended this to me. And do you ever watch the show Red Dwarf?
No, that was always around because I did watch Doctor Who in the 80s, and oftentimes they would show up on PBS alongside it. But I didn't really get into it.
Red Dwarf was this British sci-fi show. Still is. They keep bringing it back. They're actually going to do a new season next month. And it was started in like 1989. And it's about this guy named Lister who is on a spaceship 3 million years in the future because he was put in suspended animation after there was a radiation leak, or right before the radiation leak. So he's the only person that survives on this giant spaceship, along with the descendant of his cat that had babies and mutated into like cat people. That's great. A hologram who was his coworker, and then a robot. So it's this sort of a small characters sort of thing. There's no aliens. It's kind of a cool challenge they have of no aliens, but they do a lot of time travel and mutants and other sort of episodes. I enjoyed the show, and so on BritBox, which is this British pay whatever channel that you can get through Amazon or other things, they have all the episodes of Red Dwarf are up there, all the episodes, including the most recent season. So it's a fun show. If you like sci-fi, if you like Rick and Morty, you like kind of quirky sci-fi, I would say take a look at Red Dwarf.
It is fun to look into, kind of do a little amateur paleontology and look at the bones of the creatures that came before Rick and Morty and see where that DNA came from. Yeah.
We're talking about it last night with Peter about the Frederick Pulls, the coming of the quantum cats, and the idea of the guy in the multiverse, whatever. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. So, Brian, hope you feel better. Thank you for everybody that supported my book, by the way. I am...
Oh, dude, you killed it. You killed it. You are killing it. You're
I
continuing
got lucky.
to kill it.
I got very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. So I'm going to hop on and do a quick Periscope session after this. So I'll talk about writing. Any questions you guys have that I can answer, I'll let you know.
Awesome. Until then, how's it been, Andrew?
After. It's been after.
All right. Gonna
Sweet.
hit save, copy as on the desktop. Weird things. 9:27. Right on. Man, normally I'm all about hanging out, except for now. Now I'm all about laying right down.
Feel better, sir. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course. All right. Bye, beautiful people. Bye.